In this video, I'm talking about how to lose weight and still have fun. One of the biggest obstacles for so many people is they plan to do better. They plan to eat better, drink less, all the things. But then in the moment, when they're at that barbecue, at that wedding, at that party, or maybe it's just even in their own home later in the day, all of a sudden when they're in that moment in front of the food and they start renegotiating with themselves, changing their mind, rationalizing, in that moment they think, if I stick with my plan that I made for myself, this isn't as fun. So that's what I want to dive into today. And I'm going to give you my 4-step process to actually what to do in that moment to get clarity on everything that's really happening and to actually have fun and still either lose weight or get healthier, whatever it is you want for you. But as you've seen on most of the videos on this channel, what really needs to happen before I say, do this, here's my 4-step process, which is so amazing. But before we do that, I really need you to understand you at a deeper level. This is very nuanced. This is very personal. You have different things going on in your life than I do in my life, than all of my clients have on in their lives. And so instead of me just spitting out at you, do these things, what I want you to do is understand yourself at a much deeper level. So then you can customize these 4 things, this process I'm going to teach you, to you. The reason why for so many people diets haven't worked and programs haven't worked and all these things haven't worked is because they're not customizing it to themselves, to their current situation, to the mindset that they learned growing up about their body, about food, about what fun really means. We have to get into all of that in order for you to become a person who can go to a party and stick to the plan they've made themselves and actually still have fun, which is totally possible. So the first thing I want to say about this is there's probably a part of you that doesn't believe it's possible. And that's because if we look over the past for you, the evidence from the future, in the past, it's possibly been not possible for you. So what we believe is true is based on the past, often what we've been able to do in the past, and based on the evidence around us. And so if we're just looking at the past and what's been possible for you in the future, it's probably the reason you're still listening to this video is in the past you've not been able to conquer this. In the past, you make a plan for yourself and then in the moment you give up on your plan, you abandon it because you don't truly believe you're going to have as much fun. Everyone around you who's eating and drinking and supposedly not thinking about any of this seems like they're having more fun. And so then you give in because you want that fun. So what I want to do is make you believe that you can create a new future based not on the past, but on this video, based on the teachings of what I'm teaching on this YouTube channel and everything I'm teaching you here. So let's talk about the lie that most people believe. I usually work with women. Most women believe they have to choose. They have to choose between either having fun or losing weight. Most women believe that they can enjoy vacations and dinner out and girl weekends and wine nights and book clubs and even enjoying sitting on your couch watching TV. They believe they can enjoy that, but they can't make progress at the same time. It's very either or, black or white. Can you resonate with that? Nobody says this out loud, but I think so many people are living from this belief. I'm either having fun or I'm making progress. And the interesting thing that happens too is oftentimes when we finally get the willpower to go on a diet where we literally take out all of the fun of food and we just constrict down to this like complete deprivation but diet, all of a sudden we start losing weight pretty quickly. And then that actually is a little bit of fun because we feel the relief of like, oh my God, we're not mentally whipping ourselves anymore. And so then it finally gets fun, only until though you stop the dieting, you start eating the way you used to eat, and then this comes up again. How do I actually enjoy a barbecue and eat better than I've been eating and lose weight? How do I actually go on vacation and enjoy my vacation without totally going off the rails and having to come home and completely deprive myself to get back on track? That's what we're talking about here today, because it is possible for you to have all of it. I have all of it in my life. The women I work with have all of it in their lives. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't mean that you're not going to feel any negative emotion. It doesn't mean that you're going to be able to have 6 margaritas. What it means is you're going to be able to have both. You're going to be able to have fun and be able to become a woman who is in control of her body and her life. Here's what I will tell you why this matters, why you even listening and doing this work matters is every time we postpone our goals, like we're going to wait till after vacation. We're going to wait to start eating better until the end of summer. We're going to wait till after our daughter gets married, or we're going to wait till what happens is we tell ourselves we're going to do better before our daughter gets married, before the vacation, before summer comes, and then all of a sudden it comes, we haven't done it, and we think we can't have fun and do it now, we might as well wait. Every time we postpone, we are reinforcing the belief that weight loss and enjoying life cannot coexist. And then we recreate and recommit to this cycle. It's why so many people are starting out January telling themselves they're going to get their shit together. And then by the end of January, I think there's like a quitter's day. There's like an actual like January quitter's day. But really what I've seen is by the beginning of February, people are just like, I can't do this, right? And then they eventually get back on the wagon of, no, I'm going to do it because summer's coming. Summer's here. We're going to wait until fall. And then all of a sudden fall comes and it's like, oh my God, I've ate so much over summer. I haven't been working on, I'm going to get my act together. But the holidays are here. I might as well wait. So we are in a constant cycle of waiting to live the way we truly want to live. So I want to ask you a powerful question. What if the most fun version of you isn't the woman who goes to the event or sits on her couch every night and eats all the things? What if that's actually not the most fun version of your life? What if the most fun version of your life is you being confident, energized, comfortable in your clothes, trusting herself to make powerful decisions and sticking to it, not obsessing over food, not drinking more than you want to drink, not negotiating with yourself all day, not in a cycle like I was for years where I would start every day telling myself I was going to be good, and then I would be bad, and then I would end the day shaming myself for not being good. So let me paint the vision of, and then I'm going to teach you this 4-step process, but let me paint the vision of what is possible for you. So what's possible is you going on vacation or having a fun weekend with friends or having a birthday celebration, you enjoying yourself, you eating amazing food. And eating amazing food doesn't mean eating all the food. It just means you eating amazing food, you having dessert, you having a cocktail if you want to have a cocktail, but not over drinking, you feeling at peace, you're making memories, you're enjoying the weather and your friends and all the people around in the environment and the culture, but you're still feeling proud of yourself. You're not feeling guilty. You're not mentally whipping yourself for the way you've been eating. You don't need to go home from this weekend or vacation telling yourself now you need to be good because you've been bad. You don't need to lose extra weight. You don't need to intermittent fast for 3 days. You don't need to promise yourself that you're now going all in on yourself. You're not starting over. That woman isn't having less fun than you. I think she's having more fun than you. Let's think about this. Is it actually fun to feel uncomfortable in every photo? Is it actually fun to be positioning people kind of in front of you, or you certainly don't want to be on the end of every photo taken? You certainly don't want to be the one holding the camera because then you're the biggest one in the photo. Is that fun? Is it fun to spend the whole flight home or the whole drive home feeling disappointed in yourself and promising yourself you're going to do better? Is it actually fun to be starting over? Is it actually fun to be telling yourself, why do you always do this? Is it actually fun to be thinking about food and drink all day long? No. I think that what we've actually been telling ourselves is fun is actually not fun at all. And I think as we are at that event and we're looking around at all the people there that we think are not thinking about food at all, and we think are just having fun and they're just living life and they're just free, I think more often than not, in that moment, they might not be thinking about food, but we know that they're thinking about it after. We know that they're thinking a lot about it as you are, I promise you. What I know I wanted for myself and many clients want is we want freedom. We want confidence. We want to trust ourselves. We want to think about food and our body less so we have more mind space to focus on other areas of our life. Okay, let's dive into this process. Let's bring it back to that moment. I want you to think about a moment that you've experienced lately, whether it's at a barbecue, at a dinner, at a girls' night out, at even you sitting at home by yourself on the couch, right? I know for me, I used to say to myself, Bridgerton isn't as fun if I don't have a snack. Right. And so and finally I'm like, is that true? Okay. So I want you to think about that moment when you have a plan, and maybe your plan is just, I'm going to eat better. So I'm going to talk about more about the plan in the moment. It's not a good enough plan. I'm going to talk about that in a moment. But let's say you have your plan. In the past, you've had your plan. And then all of a sudden it's in that moment and you start thinking, I'm missing out. You start thinking this isn't fair. And then you start going, why does this even matter? You think I'm in perimenopause or I'm 80 years old or whatever it is you think to yourself that makes basically the thought is this doesn't even matter. I'm tired of thinking about this. Or maybe you say, I've tried everything. What does it matter? I just need to accept myself. What is really going on in that moment? Let me tell you. In that moment, what's really going on is there is a part of your brain that has stepped in and it has taken control. So we have the primitive part of our brain. It only wants us to seek pleasure, avoid pain, and conserve energy. So let's just say you're at your buddy's 70th birthday party and you're sitting there and all of a sudden you're telling yourself, everyone is having drinks, everyone is not thinking about food, I should just enjoy my life, right? The chaos, the mental gymnastics start. So what's really happening is your primitive brain is saying, you know what? I want you to be happy as you possibly can right now. And that's not sticking to your food plan. The happiest thing for you to do, the most pleasurable thing for you to do in that moment is to literally not worry about anything and just eat and drink all the things. That's what your primitive brain wants for you. Your primitive brain doesn't care that you feel like your blood work last time you went to the doctors is not going well and that the doctor is telling you you should be going on some medicine. Your primitive brain doesn't care that you can no longer fit into those pants you love so much. Your primitive brain doesn't care that you feel like your belly is just not looking good, even when you're naked, getting out of the shower, whatever it is. Primitive brain doesn't care. In that moment, it only wants you to seek pleasure. And the pleasure is in the fastest area of food in that moment. The fastest area of pleasure in that moment is food and drink. Now, if you were at home laying in bed and getting ready to go to bed, the fastest area of pleasure is possibly your phone. So it's so fascinating. There's different times for different pleasures, and your primitive brain wants you to just seek pleasure in that moment. So now that I've told you a little bit about your brain, I want to teach you this 4-step process. But let me also just say really quickly that I have another video. It's called, and I'm going to look for it, and I'm not even going to edit this out. It is called Weight Loss in Your Brain, and it is going to dive in deeper to your brain and how, when you understand yourself at a deeper level, first of all, it helps us get rid of the shame. It helps us go, oh, that's why I do what I do. And then it's so much easier to do something like this 4-step process I'm going to teach you right now. Okay, so this 4-step process, really the first step in you having fun and being able to lose weight and get healthy is decide your plan ahead of time. So in that other video I just talked about a moment ago, Weight Loss in Your Brain, is we have this primitive brain that we've had for millions of years. This is you've probably heard people call it the monkey brain or your downstairs brain. This part of our brain only wants us to really, it's like the basic survival of a human being, right? It wants us to seek pleasure in every moment. That's what keeps us alive. It helped us a lot a long, long time ago. It's no longer helping us. The beautiful thing is that you have a prefrontal cortex, and the prefrontal cortex is helping you decide ahead of time what you truly want. If you really think about why so many people say, after this vacation, I'm going to lock in and start eating better. On Monday, I'm going to start over. Oh, after I get home from this weekend, I'm going to start eating better. The reason we say that is we have a prefrontal cortex that wants us to achieve at a higher level. It wants us to achieve our goals. It wants us to think at a higher level. It wants us to problem solve. It really is the higher level brain that separates us from other animals. Thank God for our prefrontal cortex. I like to think of my prefrontal cortex as the real me. So if we take this video, for example, I say to myself today, okay, at 11, you're going to shower, put your makeup on, and then at 11 o'clock, we're going to record a video, right? That's my prefrontal cortex. I know that it's going to help so many people. I know that it's going to eventually lead people to possibly work with me. There's going to be so many things that are going to be amazing if I make this video for you. But in the moment, my primitive brain's like, you should go have a snack first. Oh, you know what? You shouldn't do the video today. You should just take a day off, because there's some negative emotion that comes up when I get ready to do this video. I'm like, okay, is this going to be the right way to do the video? Is this the sweater I should wear? Does my background look good? Does my hair look good? There's all these things that come up when I get ready to do this video. But I see my primitive brain and my prefrontal cortex as I'm sitting down to do this video. And because I have that awareness, I am now making this video, and I am now helping more women. I am now making more money. It is like advancing my life in every way possible. So that's what I want for you. So I want you to decide ahead of time what your plan is going to be every single day. If it's a random Tuesday day, what is your plan? And when I say what your plan is, what are you going to eat? If nighttime is the hardest for you, what are you going to eat at night? Make your plan ahead of time. And so when you make this plan ahead of time, you're making it with your prefrontal cortex. First step, beautiful. But I also want in this plan for you to include, what is your brain going to say when it comes time to implement this plan? So for me, I know nighttime eating is the hardest for me. Even if I'm not going to an event, in the evening, like breakfast, lunch, no problem. Nighttime is the hardest time for me. And let me just also pause to say is I have a really amazing book that I wrote about this. It's called like Stop Overeating in the Evenings. I can't even remember exactly what the title is. But if you head to, there's links in the show notes for this video, and there is a link that'll take you to my website, and you can download for free this book. It's a very quick read, and it is a game changer for nighttime eating. And in much of what I talk about in that book, which is beautiful, by the way. You'll get the PDF sent to you, and it's a beautiful book. You're going to hear a lot of the things I'm talking to you here in that book. It's going to take what you're learning here and double down on it, which will be great. But what I want you to do is I want you to think, okay, here's my plan of what I'm going to eat tonight. Also, I want you to plan, this is not only the food I'm going to eat, this is the food and drink I'm not going to eat, but here is what my brain is going to say to me. So at night, my brain tells me it doesn't matter. I'm not trying to lose weight now. I've been at my ideal weight for a long time. My eating is very under control, but my primitive brain still likes to step in, and it goes, Courtney, you're exactly the weight you want to be. You fit in all your clothes. You're not having all drama around food, all these things. Eat whatever you want. It doesn't even matter. That's what my primitive brain says to me every night. But because I've decided that ahead of time, I've determined that ahead of time, when it says that to me, I'm not like, oh my God, I'm changing my mind. I'm like, yeah, that's my primitive brain. My primitive brain knows at 6 o'clock at night, having a bowl of chips and salsa, or having cereal, or having a handful of chocolate chips is going to give me the most pleasure in that moment. But I know my primitive brain's going to say that, and I identify it as my primitive brain, and I choose not to listen. So that is so powerful for you to say, okay, Linda, whatever your name is. Okay, Linda, we're going to go to Bunko tonight, and you're going to be sitting there, and someone's going to say, can I get you another drink? And your primitive, if you've already planned on one drink, your primitive brain is going to go, everyone's going to think you're weird if you don't have another drink. They're going to question you. They're going to think that you think you're better than them. Now, instead of sitting in the shit of all of that and going, oh my God, you're going to go, oh yeah, that's my primitive brain. I knew it was going to say that to me. Then you're going to be able to go, how is that not true? How is it okay that I can only have one drink? I can go, I decide I only want to have one tonight. I'm good. And can that be okay? But if you don't identify it ahead of time, you get like all crazy in the moment. You're not expecting it. And you think it's you talking to you instead of your primitive brain. Your primitive brain sounds like you changing your mind. Little heads up. The other thing you must plan for in advance is what negative emotions are going to come up. So if your primitive brain is going to say, everyone thinks you're a weirdo, you're not having another glass of wine, what feeling is that going to bring up in your body? So I'm putting myself at a bunko, and let's say I normally have 2 or 3 glasses of wine, and all of a sudden someone says, my friend Mindy says, hey Courtney, you want another glass of wine? I say, oh no, I'm good. And then if I see people like, oh, normally normally you have two. Drink with us. Life's too short. Oh my God, what's going on? Right? If all that starts to happen, what is the and I get that thought from my primitive brain. People think you're weird. Why aren't you doing this? Life is too short. All that. What is the feeling? If I'm honest with myself right now, if I think the feeling is insecure, guilty, insecurity with a side touch of guilt. Okay, so I am going to have to be willing to sit there and not only want the wine, but also sit there while a little bit of guilt and a little bit of insecurity floods my body. That's okay. We can sit there and feel it. It doesn't feel great, but I promise you, feeling the negative emotion is the answer. The reason why most human beings will never achieve what they want to achieve with their health goals is because they are unwilling to sit in a little bit of desire for the thing they want in that moment and sit in the negative emotion. And the negative emotion feels like wanting. It feels like guilt. It feels like a little bit of insecurity. But here's what I will tell you. If you can sit there and feel that way, I promise you, when you go home, you're not going to go, I wish I would have had that second glass of wine. I wish I would have had that second appetizer. You're never going to say that. You're going to be like, I did it. I did it. And then the next time you feel that feeling, you're going to go, oh, here it is again. But I did it last time and I can do it again. So that is what starts to happen. You create new evidence that you're the woman that can want a second helping of pie and want it and feel a little bit like, oh, I'm missing out, and sit there with it and go, that's okay. So that's step number one. Decide your plan ahead of time. Decide what you're going to eat. Decide what your brain is going to be saying to you, and decide the negative emotions you're going to have to be willing to sit with it. I know it sounds horrible, and in the moment it might feel horrible, but I promise you afterwards you will be so glad. And over time, it becomes so much less horrible to where then it's no big deal. And number two, awareness in the moment. You have to have a conversation with yourself. Can you put yourself, let's go back to the bunko example. Can you put yourself, did I say bunko or book club? Doesn't matter. Bridal shower, doesn't matter. You're in that moment. You've told yourself you're only going to have one glass of wine. Someone asks if you want another. You say no. You're sitting there in your head going, damn it. Like I'm being judged, or I want another one. This isn't fair. All those things. You're feeling the negative emotion. And then you can say to yourself, it's okay. We're feeling the negative emotion. Our brain wants us to have the most pleasure possible, and that's the fastest way to do that is to eat all the things. It's okay. We can do this. Can you have this awareness? Can you say, oh, isn't this interesting? That's my primitive brain. Fascinating. Wow, this really feels horrible in the moment. Fascinating. Can you be the observer of it? I don't know if you've ever listened to Eckhart Tolle, but he talks about being the observer of our mind. So this is the mindset hacks that change your whole life. Not only are you going to get control in that moment, this kind of stuff changes your whole life. You will see. Okay, so number two, awareness in the moment. Have a conversation. Be in awe of all of it. And number three, feel the discomfort on purpose. So what I want you to do is sit there, and when you're having that conversation, say, I am choosing to sit here, and while my brain is telling me I'm missing out, I am choosing to sit here and feel a little bit sad, or feel a little bit anxious, or feel a little bit guilty. I am choosing that discomfort on purpose. And here's what I will tell you. Choosing that discomfort on purpose is so much more lovely than living a life where you don't feel good in your body all the time. I would much rather go to a party and be the only one not drinking or drinking less and having less food and feeling that discomfort to be able to, after an hour, go home and go, whoo, that was a little bit hard. That was a little spicy, but look how good I look in my clothes. Look how good I feel. I go to the doctor and they say, okay, what medicine are you on? I'm not really on anything. I'm hormone replacement. And other than that, I'm not on any medicine. How good does that feel? How good does it feel to walk into your closet and know that you can put anything on and you feel great? How good does it feel to put your bathing suit on and go, I'm kind of feeling great? How good does it feel? I know a lot, and this isn't my experience because I'm only 49, I don't have grandkids yet. But so many of my clients have grandkids, and they come on a call with me and they get emotional and they say, it feels so good to get on the ground with my grandkids and get back up without feeling like I am literally, someone help me, so good. So are you willing to feel discomfort in that moment on purpose so your whole life is more comfortable? Let's swap it. Most people are walking around feeling horrible in their whole life because we experience every moment of our life from the container of our body. They're uncomfortable if they're radically honest with themselves all the time, but they get pockets of pleasure from food. What I would rather you do is feel amazing all the time and have pockets of discomfort from food, from not eating the food. Fourth step is evaluate. It's not going to always go right. You don't have to do this perfectly. There's going to be times where you go to that party and you have this plan and you say, fuck it. And all of a sudden, you do whatever you want in the moment. You have a great time. And at the end of the night, you're like, oh my God. Instead of shaming yourself, I want you to go, let's put down the shame and let's evaluate what went wrong. What negative emotions came up that I was unwilling to feel? What did someone say that really got to me that I couldn't handle it? Did someone say, oh my gosh, just have fun. What does it even matter? And then you felt kind of guilty, like sticking to your plan? Did you people please? Like, what happened? Evaluation from a place of no shame is so important. And then you can do better next time. Then you can go next time and say, okay, last weekend, this is what happened. Here's how I'm going to do it better. And maybe next time you say, someone might say something to me, and here's what I want to think on purpose, instead of feeling guilty, instead of feeling like what I put in my mouth affects anyone, because it doesn't. So I want you to know that you can have fun and lose weight and get in your best health ever. And there's nothing more fun than walking around your life, going to the bank, going to the grocery store, going to lunch. Nothing more fun than feeling proud and confident in your body. If I can help you with this, head to modernbodymodernlife.com. You can work with me privately. You can join my membership. It's called the Aligned Life Membership. It's $97 a month. And it is for women that are watching my videos and going, I love all this and I want to do this work with her and all the other women in her membership. So I hope you love this one.